Transverse costernum. Transversus costarum. Your mother. I know it's transverse and I know it's costarum. This is the internal intercostal, external intercostal. This is the what? This little flap, the vent.
Serratus ventralis.
Serratus ventralis. It looks like a vent.
Little flaps are...
These little flaps between the internal intercostals are the serratus ventralis. Pectoral antebrachial are these things right here, up top. Clavicle brachial are like here. They're in here. If she pins it here, it's clavicle because it's the shoulder. This is the sternal mastoid up in here. Whatever this is. This is the pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, xiphoid humoralis right here. Then you have the linea alba.
Where's the linea alba?
The linea alba, it's a line.
It's a white line.
It's a white line. Linea alba,
Okay.
rectus abdominis. Then you have the external obliques, and underneath you have the internal obliques, so you can't see it right now. And, what else? Is that it? Latissimus dorsi.
She already did bacon?
Latissimus dorsi is this right here.
That's the most one. Okay. The change in color means rectus abdominis, and then external oblique.
Yeah.
Just think of your obliques. Your obliques are on the outside.
What we're going to do today is go in the abdomen, which means we're going to cut through which muscle?
Linea
No, which muscle? The rectus abdominis. What I want you to do is not cut directly on the linea alba, so I have it to pin. Okay? Put down here, this side of the linea alba, oblique. Remember we had the external? There's the internal. Right. No, not yet. What was that kind of hairnet thing?
Yeah, like that,
Starts with this stuff?
What's the first letter?
Starts with an O?
thank you.
The omentum? Okay, right. Okay, we're not going to deal with that. So all you have to do is just pull all that stuff off and throw it away.
Okay.
Okay? All right?
So we don't even know. Oh my God.
Andrea's like, wee.
So we don't have to know?
No, you don't have to know it. Okay? So that was it. The greater, this is the lesser. Now, what you do have to do is remember with the mink, you took out now the mesentery.
Now you have to like...
Remember the mesentery was in between?
Yeah.
Holding it together? Just take and just get rid of it. And what I want is a nice long intestine.
Like a nice
and be careful because these little guys, if they dry out, they're going to break real easy. Okay, so be careful. The intestines. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to string them out. Okay, once you have them done, then up here by the stomach, there's the stomach. This would be the duodenum. Then in the middle, jejunum. Then back up underneath here would be the ileum. Okay, this is the spleen, yes. No, you're right, this is the spleen. Now, depending upon some cats, this is going to be super small like this one, or it's going to be huge. Okay? It's just right here. Okay? Now, those of you doing it, watch. Be careful, because the omentum attaches all the way along the spleen, and if you just yank, you'll pull your whole spleen out too. Okay? So make sure that when you take the omentum out, you're very careful with the spleen, especially this one because it's nice and wet. Right. Okay? This is, of course, the liver. There's the gallbladder, the little bubble. Okay? Okay, well this one isn't full, but there's your gallbladder. Okay? Then once you have the intestines out of the way, there is your kidney. Okay? Then you've got the colon. No. Okay? There's your urinary bladder. That little thing right there. Okay?
You don't just put it on like that.
No. When you get it open a little bit more, around the urinary bladder are two fat pads. Okay? Leave those. Okay? That's how you know you need to go to the bathroom, because when the bladder gets big enough, it hits the fat pads and you feel the pressure and you go, okay, gotta go. All right? Okay, then, of course, when we get to the colon, remember ascending, transverse, descending colon, like a question mark.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay? Now, the rectum's going to be down here. We're not dissecting it out, so if there's a pin in between the legs, rectum. right? When you're done and have that all cleaned out, you need to clean out and find the ureter, which means you got to clean out the muscle. There's a little tube that runs from the kidney down to the urinary bladder, which is the ureter. This is going to probably be beige, so you've got to be careful that you don't just yank it out with the fat, okay? The urine was there, and then when it died and it voided itself, it didn't have time to shrink back up.
Oh.
Okay?
That's really funny.
So here are the fat pads, all right?
They can't miss the bladder.
Right, I was going to say. All right, so.
Yeah, you should realize the bladder. What does a full bladder look like?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but the problem is with yours, I've got to get the bladder out of the way. All right, so up here, if I pinned up here, this intestine, that would be the duodenum.
Okay.
Okay? If I pin down here in the middle, jejunum. If I pin up here by the large intestine, ileum. Then I'll have this so that you have the ascending, transverse, descending colon. Okay? Now what you have to do is, it's your little fat here. You got to get all this fat out here. Here's your kidney. And you got to find the ureter. It should be a beige tube that goes this way, right along here. Okay, so don't pull that out. Make sure you cut right up the middle of the muscles. Don't tear anything in half. So just take the scalpel, get started a little bit till you hit the xiphi humoralis. Then you're going to use the elephant toenail clippers. Basically all you're doing is getting up under that sternum and cracking it. Crunch. If it doesn't go all the way through, just take the scalpel along the side with it. Now this is what they have to do if you're going to have open heart surgery. They have to go through your sternum. Now they used to use things like this, but now they have the nice little saws. You hear this, and they're cracking through, which is why in an open heart surgery, your heart doesn't hurt. They've cut through your whole sternum, and that has to heal and all the muscles around it, so that's what hurts. That's why a lot of people do not want to laugh after they've had that. Okay, now what you're going to have to do, and this is the technique, you're going to see the diaphragm. This is the diaphragm here. Just pull it away from the ribs. Okay, so there's your diaphragm. Now there's going to be probably going to be some fluid inside there, so you might want to get a paper towel and get it out. Okay? Now the technique is I gave everyone your ribs. Okay? Okay? Now, underneath, right here, this little, almost looks like saran wrap, that's your falciform ligament. Be careful that you don't tear that off. That you need to know that for the practical. It holds the diaphragm to the liver. Okay, just this little saran wrap type of thing. Okay, very small. See? Just this little thing right here, this little flap of tissue. Okay? Then you've got, of course, the lungs, the heart. Take off the thymus gland. Take that off. Do not take off the pericardium. Remember the little plastic bag around it? Leave the pericardium on. Now what I'm going to do is, if you have a pin going sideways through the pericardium, I want the pericardium. If there's just a pin going through the whole heart, no big deal. Okay? Then up top, you need to know the superior vena cava, which is the blue, and the red, which is the aorta. And then that's it, guys. The lungs, the heart, you're done.